Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Sunday Service Podcast. I am your host, Sister Stephanie.
I'm your host, Sister Sally.
And we are gathered here today filming the last episode of season 2. I can't believe how fast that went. And I know we said that last season too, but like, whoa, holy shit. Like, seriously, where does time go? Like, I can't seem to get a grip. And like, we're ready. I mean, less than 1 week away from Christmas as we're filming this, and we're wrapping up the new year.
I know, it's so crazy. I can't believe it. I was just thinking about this last night. I was like, what are my New Year's resolutions going to be? Because I don't normally really focus on New Year's resolutions personally. I'm not like one of those people who's like, all right, I'm going to do the gym this many times a week.
New year, new me.
Yeah, new year, new me. No, but I do think I should like do something that's like very realistic and like something I've been striving to do anyways, and make it kind of like, you know, something I really do focus on.
Right.
Make a real goal for me personally.
I would say the last 2 years, I actually did make it a point to like kind of hone in on what my New Year's resolutions would be. And it does help. I feel like to like have somewhat of a plan in general in life is helpful. But when you have like a fresh start and like a new year, and we're really just like, I know realistically it's like there's really nothing actually changes, but like you can consciously make the effort to make changes in your life and plan for a better you and a better year ahead. Because I know from my own experience, like this past year was more lessons than it was blessings. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. Like we said in the last episode, some years are better than others, and some years are teachers, and some years are, you know, years where we really get to like enjoy and live and experience things. And this past year was definitely a year of being taught things and having to like learn new things and having to adjust. But I am hopeful that this next year will be a good year, and that's really all you can do, you know? Like, I am going to have some New Year's resolutions myself. Personally, I really want to work on like my consistency. I feel like in the last, because I really feel like I mastered that when I like really grabbed my fitness journey by the balls, like in 2020. And I felt that it was so instilled in me that it was something that I didn't need to be retaught. But like sometimes we lose that rhythm. And I would say this year I kind of got a little caught up and like haven't been on my consistency shit this past year. And like, that's okay. I'm giving myself grace, but like something in the new year that I'm striving for is like ultimate consistency. And I think like having that plan ahead actually will help me do better at that. Like I'm consciously making the effort to be more consistent in everything in my life in this next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think my last year around this time, I was saying just actually starting my like new fitness journey. I've always been like into my own like fitness in the sense of like working out. I always want to make it part of my life. I always like to try and maintain somewhat of a healthy lifestyle, but last year, that's when I like really started to like hone in on that in my life and was like, you know what? I'm going to lose weight.
I'm not playing games this year.
I'm going to get to the desired body I want. Like, not saying like within a year, but like that was when I really wanted to like start it. And I did. And I've been very consistent. And sorry if you guys don't notice, we have the little chicken nuggets with us today. And they're still potty training, so I'm very like attentive to when they're on the furniture. But yeah, last year around this time, I definitely started doing what I was doing. I was, just getting started into the like, at least I was doing consistent cardio and like eating healthier. And so this year, I definitely am like getting even deeper into it. I want to remain consistent, and I really want to build my strength and like.
I feel like once you have that foundation down, and like that's why I'm the biggest advocate of like the gym, because I think if you're on this like self-improvement journey and like you want to just have a better life, it really starts with yourself and like making yourself good and the best version you could possibly be. So once you have that gym down and that you know how beneficial it is to consistently like work on yourself, and you're making the time to have a schedule and be consistent with your training and be mindful of your eating. Like once you have that down, it really is just the recipe to everything else in your life kind of falling into place and being able to like do other things, like because you got yourself down, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I think like kickstarting your fitness journey or like restarting your fitness journey like me is a really good place to start. Like in the new year, if you're just looking to improve, I definitely would suggest starting in the gym or starting with a plan to like have a healthier year and work out and do something different, challenge yourself.
I know that I know some people too that healthier you, like for them started with just their eating, like, and they were like, okay, I'm not gonna like force myself into the gym just yet. I just want to get my diet on track. So because it's like like with everything in life, like it's not, you don't need to go like all or nothing. You know, it can be like gradual and like.
I really like believe this, and I read a book called this once, but as long as you're 1% better every single day or 10% better every single day, like that's enough. You know, I think that we're so used to putting so much pressure on ourselves, and this also ties into pretty much everything we've talked about on this podcast. But like, we feel like we need to be doing so much and that we should have conquered and mastered all of these things by now. And at our grown ass age, we should have had this much in our bank account and these things accomplished. But it's like, life is not a fucking race. You know, like it's meant to be enjoyed and it's meant to sit and like appreciate where you're at. I mean, that's really all you can do.
Yeah.
So when you like, you know, remind yourself of those things, you can kind of grab your life by the balls and like just take control of it again. And I think the new year is a good place to start. So I'm looking forward to the new year. I'm looking forward to just changes that I'm going to be making within myself and within my life and my schedule. And that's where I'm going to start. And I think once I really focus again on like myself, then everything else will be able to just be done without stress or worry or like those things just come with a better version of you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Which is actually like, it's pretty simple, you know, like work on yourself, pour into yourself, take care of yourself, and everything else will start to work in your favor. And I don't know if I'm just Delulu and I'm out here in fucking La La Land, but it's worked for me. And I think a lot of that is also like being positive about your future and like what you see yourself doing in the next year. Like, I don't like when people say, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Like, bitch, I can't even think until 5 days out. You know, you want me to think 5 years out from now? You can put that into the universe and hope for the best and envision the best life for you and all the things you want to do and things you want to accomplish and things you want to see. But like, you just have to have a mindset of wanting to be better. And that stays in you. That's an everyday thing. That's not just like January 1st and then it kind of fades out the rest of the year. Like, you have to want to be better.
I think too, yeah, like you were just saying, like watch what you say about yourself and your future and like what you're gonna do for the new year. Like, don't be like negative about it. Just having a positive.
Being negative does
outlook.
nothing.
Yeah, and we were just in church this past Sunday too, and they were even talking biblically what like power your mouth has over your life, and so, you know, speaking like, oh, I suck at this. Oh, I'm fat. And yeah, well, that's what's going to happen. The power of your mouth is crazy. Like, you know, like, so if you speak, you know, like, I'm going to be better at this. I'm going to go to the gym. It's like
your
more.
body
Like,
starts to also believe that too. And then so does your reality, like just becomes aligned with that. And this is again why I like really stress like starting in the gym with this, because once I like had mastered this myself, I'm like, wow, it's so easy. It's just a switch that you have to flick on or off, you know? And in the gym is, you know, a place where a lot of people are restarting and they want to get healthy, but then they come in and they say, ugh, how many more reps? Or, ugh, I don't want to do that workout. When you have that attitude, nothing about it is going to naturally feel good. You have to be like, ugh, I can do this. I can do hard shit. This is hard, but I can do it. And then everything else kind of just starts to flow in that direction.
Yeah.
Like, it's really that easy.
I even struggle. Like last night, I did not want to work out at all. And I forced myself to go and I was like, okay, I'm just going to do 3 workouts, 4 sets each.
Yeah, something's better than nothing.
That's 30 minutes in and out. Like keep my heart rate up, boom, bam, get out.
You still showed up for yourself. You were still consistent. Like,
and I ended up doing more because like once you're in there and you're like telling yourself, I got this. I can just do 3 sets.
Right.
Like, then I'm like, okay, actually I'm going to superset this one. And actually I'm going to do this many reps. Actually, I am going to add on weight.
Yeah, because
you
you
know?
can.
Because
you get
now
in there
you're
and you're
already
like,
there.
wow,
you know?
my not self-serving thoughts could have talked me out of this like really fast.
Yeah.
But then once you get there and you realize you are capable and like you are capable of not doing what your brain thinks that you need to be doing. Like it's all about recognizing that and then doing the opposite, you know?
And I think, you know, I'm not much of a like very specific type of New Year's resolution person. I'm more of like a
just gonna have a better year.
This is kind of like what I'm gonna do. I do believe in the power of journaling and praying about it though, like and speaking it out.
Manifest that shit. I believe in that too.
So I like one thing that, you know, I'll that's kind of like where we're going with this is our New Year's resolutions is like one of mine is to not only stay consistent with how I've been in the gym, but also be a little more disciplined with my diet. That's something that I do struggle with like a lot. Like I snack at night, I munch, you know, I do smoke weed. So like it happens and I do smoke to like help me go to sleep. So then I'm like, you know, but mind over matter, I need to be more disciplined. That's just the fact of the matter, you know? And if I'm gonna munch, I need to just choose something better, you know? And, cause it's not like you know, you have to be miserable to be fit or healthy, you know? So that's one of mine. And I'm just, you know, I'm not going to say like, you're not going to munch these days and you're allowed to munch no, like
you're not like putting restrictions on yourself, but you're kind of like telling yourself like, you know what your problem is. Now what are you going to do about it?
And then I do journal it. I like write it down like, and I also pray about it, you know, help me have the strength and determination and discipline to resist these type of things and be more structured in my life and like, you know, and I think that it's important to just, you know, you don't have to journal, you don't have to pray, but like certain little exercises that I do help me. I'm not, like I said, I'm not like a super type A personality where I write like whatever, but sometimes I'll write a list of something like that I want to do. And I'll just erase it every time I'm like getting it done, you know, like if one of my goals is to be a little more organized, that's kind of like how I start to do it. And I need to be better at that too. I want to have like a little more organization, you know, where I'm not just like scatterbrained all over the place running around. Like,
I can totally relate to that because I'm someone who I don't necessarily plan. And like I've labeled myself as like a non-planner. And like that's cool and all, but it's also not serving me to be that way. So I need to switch things up. Like I am not stuck to being like this. I can change and I can morph into a better version of myself who is better at planning. Like that's something that is good to master, you know? And I'm looking forward to that in the new year. I'm also looking forward to just like not only, you know, being more consistent in my fitness life, but like, you know, with work and being more consistent with making plans and sticking to a calendar and like planning things out. I just know will benefit me. It will benefit us and this podcast. Last week we had our first like sponsorship with the Marriott Fort Lauderdale, which was amazing.
Cute,
and I just like hope, and I know in the next year, that's something we're going to focus on more.
We are.
And doing some like in-person events with Sunday service. I think that's something that I'm really excited about. So just kind of like doing what we're doing now, but taking it to the next fucking level, bitch, because we are leveling up every single year. Like as long as I feel because although this year was not a total win for me, experience and like going through shit does unlock new things in you. So essentially you are, I mean, as long as you're learning from the things in your life, like you are getting better.
Absolutely.
So I take all these lessons that I learned this year and then like implement them and use them strategically in my life in this next year.
Well, I mean, a year ago, we were just, a podcast was an idea.
Right.
So like that's huge, you know?
Yeah, that's something to be proud of. We literally
We
got
did.
here.
That was
Yeah.
probably one of our New Year's resolutions last year.
Totally. Just to
So-
like actually put action behind our words. And I know that was for me. So this
Yeah.
is something that, you know, I think both of us are very proud of. And whether it's still in the beginning stages and it's small, like we have grown so much, like individually. And then with this podcast, with just the experience and like getting better on camera and more confident in what we're doing and
Yeah.
feeling like we're sticking to our purpose. Like it's really rewarding. And I want everything in this next year to be in that tone.
Yeah,
You know, like I want it to all be
I feel it.
progressive and good.
I like want it. I want this podcast to continue to become more and more part of my life in the sense of like, you know, I want to have the freedom to focus more on it. And like, I keep speaking that out. Like, this is going to be more part of my life, more part of my career. Like it's going to start to become that. And I like say it all the time. I can feel it. I can feel it. And it is going to happen for us. We have people who are already reaching out, companies, brands, and it's going to only escalate from there. And like, that's kind of just like so beautiful because this was just an idea less than a year ago.
right.
So
We want to like always encourage critical thinking for everyone and self-awareness and just community and connecting with other females and other people in general. Like, so it definitely does not stop here. Like season 2 is just we're just at the ingredients list right now.
Yeah.
Like wait till everything really starts to come together. And what a beautiful journey it's been. I mean, the fact that at the end of this year, I feel like we always are in these like pivotal times as well, like wrapping up, this is our second season. But wow, like, you know, what a way and what a year it's been.
It's so
2 seasons
crazy.
in. And we're just getting started.
I know. I like, and doing like a little reflecting, like when we were talking about what the year to come and what we want to happen and stuff, like a lot of what I would say is things like, I want to, wake up earlier and allow myself more time to myself and, getting exercise right away or like watching the sunrise, something like that. And without me even realizing it, I'm doing it because of these two, and it was like, not even like a super conscious decision. Like, all right, I'm waking up this morning at 6 a.m. to start my new life.
Yeah.
No, it just casually crept in with these 2 little nuggets because we chose to get some dogs, and now like, boom. It's just funny how manifesting and believing that you're going to be able to do something comes into your life without you even really like having to try, you know?
Just having that like mental
Yeah.
attitude and like putting your energy towards that eventually makes that happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's how the podcast happened anyways, you know?
Yeah.
So we highly, highly, highly recommend speaking nicely to yourself, speaking nicely about your life, putting positive thoughts out there, manifesting, wanting better for yourself. Like do all of that shit and focus on you. Because if you're not good, if you're not 100, if you don't love yourself, nothing about your life is going to fuel that.
And if you're like
energy.
serious about stuff like that, we keep using the gym as an example, but like it's an easy example to use because
it is the greatest teacher because
It
once
is.
you master that, you know how to
and it's like
do hard shit in life.
a very good, like taking care of yourself is super important no matter
I honestly
what.
think it's number 1.
Yeah.
Because how can you do anything 100 in your life if you are depleted, if you're at fucking 20%? How?
Well, and the thing is like to just the point I wanted to make about the gym for me was like, I know that I'm not one of those people that is like, okay, I have a really nice apartment gym, okay? But I'm not one of those people who enjoys like just like my very alone workout. Like I need to be in more of a different environment. And this is like for a lot of people, I know Aiden, he likes to work out in his apartment gym. He likes to go whenever he wants to. He likes to be in his own head when he's doing it. I need to work out with someone. I need to be around people who are super motivating when I work out. And I also sometimes need a class to kickstart it. And like, I go out to dinner and I spend like $100. Easy. I know everybody does, okay? And if I put that $100, that's a whole month at a gym that would make me feel great. Or that's a few sessions if you want, or at least one good session with a trainer a month, you know, like something like that, where whatever you need to like get to the point where this is something that you can start and you're not making excuses for yourself is like definitely worth every single sacrifice. Like, don't go out to dinner once a week and instead get a gym membership, you know? And obviously there's the cheap gyms like LA Fitness and Planet Fitness and whatever. I go to Elevation here in Miami. I might even switch to the Boxer gym soon or something like that. But it's because these type of gyms are like, everybody there is training for something. And a lot of them, you know, a lot of them are juiced up and like whatever, but they're very serious about their workouts. So like nobody's sitting around like bullshitting, leaving the place a mess, weights everywhere. Like it's like people are serious. They like take their workouts serious. They treat the gym with like kindness. Like it's like, so it's motivating to be around that. You're like, you're not going to not finish your sets when you're around these people who are like are jacked and like looking amazing. So I made the decision, even though I have a beautiful gym here, to get the membership because I know I need to do that, you know?
Yeah, and that also just goes to show how like your environment and where you plant yourself has so much to do with like who you are becoming. So like your friend group, where you your clubs or your gyms or your book club, whatever, like you're choosing your environments, and just make sure that those environments and those people align with like what you want in life.
Right.
You know, so whether it's for you going to the gym and being around people who are all super motivated and super fit, like that does something for you, but something positive nonetheless.
Yeah.
You know, if I, you know, go to a spa and it's all, you know, people who are there doing sauna, steam, cold plunge, and it's stuff to make them feel good, like being around that life and those people, like makes me want to do that shit more, you know, anything, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that's something to also be like super mindful and considerate about, is like where you're planting seeds, where you're trying to grow. Like, is it benefiting me? Is it making me better? Are these people making me better? Are they making me feel good about myself? Like all of those things matter. So in this next year, we definitely encourage you guys to sign up for a gym, sign up for a club, sign up for something.
Class pass
for
even.
you. Yeah.
Class pass is like what, like $45 a month, and you can like try a
There are
bunch of
different ones, but yeah.
Yeah, you try different classes, whatever. You can bounce around.
And make that time for yourself.
You know?
Like a lot of people say, I don't have the time or I'm too tired, but it's like you're choosing that, you know, like there's always time. There's always, and I don't want to be like Miss Preachy and fucking, you know, I'm telling you to do the impossible, but like we can do the impossible.
Yeah.
We can do hard shit. We can wake up earlier. We can get uncomfortable, because that's the only way to grow in life. So unless you're resisting that, we highly recommend doing things that are going to fuel and support your growth.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have so many goals in my mind that I feel like I am like at the like I can taste them.
Touch it.
You know?
Yeah.
And like they're right there.
Yeah.
And all it takes is like a slight shift. And it's not even crazy 360, 180, whatever. Like it's a slight shift, you know? Like as much as like getting up 1 hour earlier, as much as training one more day.
Right.
You know?
Well,
like,
nothing changes if nothing changes. If you keep doing the same shit, like nothing's going to change. But if you make that one change, if you make that one different move, if you start doing something different, if you let go of this friend group, if you do this, like things are going to change, you know? And if you want better for yourself, it'll probably end up that it's better for you.
Yeah, and always doing things with a purpose, you know? Like it's like,
Well, that's why we're always encouraging being like self-aware and like, you know, placing your energy very strategically where you want it to be in this world.
like this past Sunday at church was so good. Also, I had skipped a couple weeks, so like it felt so good to be there. But one of the things that she said was like, it just hit me, like, was like, oh, church isn't just something cute you do on the weekends. Like, this is like something you need to practice in your everyday life. Not necessarily, she didn't mean like go to church every day. She's saying like, you need to carry what you're doing here through the rest of your week, you know? So it's like, you don't just be like, okay, cute, dress up, go to church, or dress up one day of the week and go to the gym.
No, you have to like
You
implement
have to,
those
like,
lessons
yeah.
in your life and like take them and learn from them.
And like do the work, you know, like I need to, you know, I want to be more submerged in my faith. So I need to read the Bible. Like I've never been somebody who like really opens up the Bible and starts to read it, but that is going to take me to the next level in my spirituality and in my faith. So it's something I have to do. And it literally is just so much as opening a book, you know? And I think that it's just like pushing ourselves to just do one thing better. Like you were saying, 1% better, like every day, whether it's like, you know, reading one little passage for me, I think would make me one step closer to my goals of being more submerged in that life. So it's like, just, and one passage is like this big.
Well, I think if we could really recommend anything, it would literally be like, what's one thing that you can do every single day? It doesn't have to be the same thing every single day, but one thing that you can do that will make you 1% better.
Yeah.
Like, think about how minuscule that is. Like, there's, you can carve out a 10-minute stretch. You can carve out time to go work out. You can carve out a minute to meditate. Like, we can do these things, you know? And even if it's a 5-minute meditation or one passage or one stretch or one walk or one journal session, like that's good.
Yeah, no, and that's
Give
the
yourself
thing.
credit for that.
You really, and because like I wasn't a journaler for a long ass time. And then like when I first moved to Miami, that's when I started journaling. And it was just that, like it was maybe once a week. I would write one little page. And now I do it all the time, you know, like then I'll skip a few weeks, but then I'll go right back to it, you know? So it's like,
it's just one of those things, you know, that you can revert to that is going to make you feel better now.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I definitely think that it's just, you know, pushing yourself to just like want the things that are better for you. And it's only going to make you feel better. After I do complete those things, I always feel so good about myself.
Oh,
you know?
That's again why I always go revert just the lesson of that, like back into the gym. Cause it's like, once you do it, you never regret it. You never regret a workout, whether it was a fucking sick one or it was a half-assed one. Like, you're never gonna regret it. You're always gonna feel better because at least you got there.
Right.
At least you made it there. At least you did something. And that 1% better is enough. And I think that that's just where we want to cap this season on right now. Like, no pressure. Like, we can't evolve and become our best selves overnight, and that's just not realistic. And we need to give ourselves grace and be compassionate to ourselves, and not feel like we need to have all of this stuff under our belts and like just conquered and done. Like, life is constant evolving and constantly changing into different versions of ourselves. So as long as we're striving to be 1% better every single day, I think that that's all we can do. And
if anybody wants to share your resolutions with us, we'd love to hear them.
Yeah, please do.
Because I just like am curious what other people like think of around this time of the year.
Right.
I know like you know, both of us are very fitness centered and spiritual. So like, what else is there? You know,
I think
like,
one of my other boundaries is one of my other resolutions is drawing the line and creating very tough fucking boundaries that have been hard for me in my life. But like, that's okay.
Yes.
Like, do that.
See things like that too. Like I love that, just where it's not even necessarily an action like that has to happen. It just is like being a little more this way for you. Cause that's one for me too, is similar. One of my like real goals in life is to just be way more loving, like, and way more compassionate for other people. Even if I'm getting pissed off and like stuff like that. I used to, you know, let things like spark my, you know, like I clap back all the time.
Used to react differently.
But now like I'm really trying to be as compassionate as I can and like allow just myself to understand other perspectives, because I never used to do that, and doing it makes me feel a lot more peaceful. And I want to keep trying to strive to be that woman that I'm like kind of starting to become.
Well, because I think who doesn't want a peaceful life?
Yeah, and because like anger is like not self-serving. It's counterproductive. Like being angry, no matter what, is not productive.
Right.
Like literally at all. Like there's not even nobody can even argue why anger would make you more productive. You know, it's a negative emotion and it's a negative mind state. So like if we can always imagine if you could channel every time you feel angry or frustrated into like something positive, you would be so much happier of a person.
I really do have to say over the last 2 years, that's something that I've mastered just because
Yeah.
I crave peace in my life so much. And I want that for everyone. Like, I think we all deserve a peaceful life, even if you're used to chaos, even if you're used to resorting to anger and chaos and just like nonsense that it's really not doing anything for you.
Yeah.
You can change that. But the first thing is acknowledging that, like, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You know, so like be self-aware, like be overly self-aware. That's my best advice, because once we like know who we are and we know what we need to do and the things that we're okay with and that we're not okay with, life gets better. And everyone deserves that. Everyone deserves to morph into a better version of themselves. And I hope that we can all meet each other there in the new year.
So maybe instead of a resolution, think of one word that you want to be more of
In this next year.
Like for me, it's compassionate. You know, like that's what I want to be more of. That's what I want more of. So I'm going to try to like always keep that in the back of my brain, like compassion, have compassion, be compassionate, you know?
Yeah, just a mental note to remember in this next year, 2024, baby.
So weird.
I don't know. I have a thing with like even numbers, like 2 and 4. Like it just feels like it's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
And we're just really excited to take this thing that we got going on here to the next level. And
always leveling up.
yeah, that's just point blank, period. And we're going to take that energy into this next year and really just do the most with that.
Absolutely.
So we are channeling and sending this energy to you guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us every Sunday if you have. And we're just really excited to see you guys in the next year and bring you guys some good stuff.
And if you're in Miami, keep a lookout for some Sunday service events. And if you're not, get your ass to Miami and come.
Yeah,
and let us know. Pull up.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on the last episode of the Sunday Service podcast, season 2. We will see you guys in the new year on season 3. And we love you so much. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.